Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time, place, and conduct of all public meetings of the New Brunswick Parking Authority, has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News and Tribune, as per the annual notice provided in a resolution adopted by this governing body on December 29, 1975. Board members have minutes from the September regular board meeting. Anybody have any items they wish to correct or amend? If not, can I get a motion to accept the minutes? And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mitch?
Okay, just a couple of things. The restoration is nearly complete. Pretty much like 97–98% done. Just a couple of miscellaneous loose ends remaining, and all the work should be complete within the next 2 weeks. The next customer service enhancement that we're looking into is to get a system that allows our customers to reserve parking within our parking garages. So we've been looking around for systems where it would basically be an app on your phone where you could basically reserve a spot, say at Church Street deck, for a certain time and date, and then use your phone as the ticket to scan at the entrance to allow the gate to let you in, and then obviously use it on exit to let you out. So we're looking into implementing that sometime early part of 2018. Ultimately, we might have to go out for competitive pricing and get that implemented. So, but I'll keep the board informed of the progress of that.
How many vendors provide that kind of a system?
Well, we know Park Mobile, who we use
for the
in
meters.
the meters, they have a good system. There are a few others, but they're not as robust as Park Mobile, but we're still looking, so I don't want to hang my hat on that. So that's where we're at right now.
Do some due diligence with the other cities that
Absolutely.
have them.
Yep.
So Mitch, a question on it, without going into a lot of detail, basically it would monitor the number of vehicles in the deck, and would, if someone came, the public came without a reservation, and the rest of the deck was reserved, it would tell people no space? Is that how it would work? Is that how this is it that sophisticated?
Well, we keep track of the counts of the
Right.
garages.
Right, so
All
that-
right. So
that would
let's
happen.
use Lower Church Street. I like to use Lower Church Street
Sure.
as an example. It's probably the most popular garage. So, you know, the Lower Church Street, you have basically 400 some odd spaces. So let's, and I'm making this just to make it clear.
Exactly.
So 300 people reserve spaces. So now the system shows that we reduce 300 spaces
Exactly.
at a certain time, because you could do it by hour. You know, so if we know 300, I'm making it simple, 300 people reserve spaces at 5 p.m. at night.
Right.
You know, then we know that there's only 100 spaces, you know,
Left
in a
to-
perfect world, 100 spaces that we could allow people who, you know, just drive in.
Yep.
So obviously there'd be a premium to that service, you know, because you're reserving the space. So if someone wants to go to Steakhouse 85, and they want to be able to park right across the street.
Sure.
And I know it's a busy garage and it's hard to get a spot there after a certain time. If I can reserve it, you know, so I think it's a service that will be used. I think it would be
Absolutely,
welcome.
I agree. And
Yeah.
and that would be
You
the
know, theater
concept.
goes also,
Got it.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the game plan. So we're looking into that right now. And then one other thing, in our effort to be ecologically friendly, or environmentally friendly, we purchased a Nissan Leaf, which is an electric car, fully electric vehicle. We used the PSE&G incentives, which came out to about $15,000 worth of incentives. So the cost of the vehicle is approximately $19,000 for the vehicle. And we're hoping to have that by mid-November or so.
Great.
All right? And obviously we have a charging station, so we could charge them as we're here.
Good.
Yeah. All right?
Okay, let us know how that works.
Yep.
Right.
The September financial statement was emailed, and we had the budget meeting October
Yes.
17th. We'll present it for the resolution today.
Okay. Lenny, do you have any
No legal, sir.
items? No? Any public comment?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Charles Cradaville, New Brunswick Today. I'd like to start by following up on the issues I brought up at the last meeting with the New Brunswick shuttle. Could I get an update on, what we can do to increase the ridership on that route?
Well, I know I spoke to Rutgers, and I believe they changed names on the buses from Ward 1 to Ward 2, and now it says Brunswick 1 and Brunswick 2. They also informed me they plan on painting the buses to, so it looks like the shuttle, like it used to look like. And then I don't know if it's on the shuttle route itself, but they also, actually we're bringing it up at the traffic commission meeting next week about a shelter up on Albany Street, near the J&J building.
Okay.
Bus shelter there. So,
Terrific.
but I don't know if that, I know you mentioned bus shelters, so I don't know if that's it's the actual Brunswick shuttle shelter, but there was
Right.
going to be an additional shelter that we're going to be, the traffic commission is going to address.
Terrific. That's
So,
good to hear some progress.
And I think that's basically where I'm at right now.
Okay. And since we are talking about going green and in terms of the vehicles, I did point out that these vehicles were repurposed from North Carolina State, and they've even been accused of causing a death for the fumes from the their diesel buses. And so I really think that it's Rutgers' problem. It's their contractor, First Transit, but I believe that the parking authority chips in. Is it true that there's a financial chip in from the authority, or it's just
we have no agreement at this time with Rutgers on that bus.
I see.
We did years ago, but no longer.
It just lapsed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do think that, there's some real transportation issues in the city that, certainly the taxi system could be better, the buses could be better, bicycle and pedestrian amenities could be better. So there's, more than just parking that we need in the city, and I hope that, the Traffic Commission and others will address these issues that I'm raising, because I do take them very seriously. And I'll move on to the resolutions here. There's a rate fee schedule for 2018. Can you tell me if the rates are going to increase? And if so, what rates and how much?
The rate increase applies to monthly parking. Each facility increases $5 per month per access card. The daily rates are remaining the same for 2018.
And meters the same.
The meters are the same.
I did want to ask about, as I see here in this lovely publication, Tap into New Brunswick, that New Brunswick hasn't given up on hope on getting the Amazon second headquarters to be right where the Farron Mall used to be. Can you guys tell me a little bit about the role that that the parking authority might play in such a project? Is this realistic?
I guess our role is that we own the land that would be, we currently own the land that would be placed on. That's about the extent of the role, I guess, that we have.
So was the authority involved in the development of this proposal submitted to Amazon?
That was pretty much developed by DevCo.
Okay. So it's kind of assumed that DevCo is going to be in control of this site, this project?
I think it's up to Amazon to start making some decisions first. I mean, were we fortunate enough to be the successful bidder, I'm sure we'd be involved in a big way. It sounds like an enormous public-private project, right? So.
Yeah, so you support it?
Sure.
Okay. And I'm just questioning the DevCo being automatically the developer. I understand they made the proposal and they kind of took the lead on this, but if, shockingly, Amazon does not select our fine city for their headquarters, I don't think it should be a fait accompli that DevCo is chosen automatically to do the development. It's the parking authority's land, and there should be a competitive process to make sure that the best proposal is the one that moves forward, and not just whatever DevCo can put together because they are, for some reason, get to go to the front of the line and get first dibs on the probably the most important redevelopment project in a long time in New Brunswick. So I'd encourage the authority to, engage in a public and competitive process for what to do with this site.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
How's it going? Kevin Donegan, Rutgers University. I'm coming in just to ask a few questions that you guys have for Parking Authority. I'm taking a public administration class. So if you guys could just generally, like, the money you guys acquire from parking meters and even the tickets, where's that usually being allocated to in your budget?
Want to give them a brief description of our revenue stream?
Well, our revenue stream is basically, we're self-sufficient. So what we do is, any revenues that we get paid for the regular operating expenses, such as, payroll, insurance, supplies, maintenance of the equipment. And then any surplus that we get, it goes into a capital account for retained earnings. And for retained earnings, that's where we use those funds to fund our capital improvements, such as maintaining the garages, which you have to do so it remains safe, and purchasing vehicles for the fleet, for enforcement and stuff. And obviously, we borrow money in order to finance the parking garages that we build. So the money that we also generate from the revenues also go towards paying off debt service, which is basically the finance of the garage.
Okay. And maybe on top of the Nissan Leaf you guys just purchased, do you see any other projects coming into the new year that you guys might be trying to get started?
Any new projects in the company? Really, what we do on an annual basis is the restoration and maintenance of the garages, the existing garages. We do that annually. We have a physical assessment done by our structural engineering firm that we should hire that year. And they come in and do an assessment of all our facilities and highlight items that need to be addressed, as far as maintenance goes. And this coming year, nothing really jumps out, any major purchases other than vehicles that we will be getting into.
Now, going back to the Nissan Leaf just quickly, what's the goal of acquiring this type of car? And is this meant for like the short term, maybe just for the next year, or do you hope this will be like a long-term kind of expense?
Well, vehicles hopefully will be more of a long-term than a short-term. But we're out in vehicles much of the day, enforcement in particular, parking services when they go from facility to another facility. And, we save on fuel expense, we save on maintenance expense because you don't have to do oil changes. So we're looking at this as a cost savings incentive as far as our fleet goes. And ultimately, who's to say that maybe down the road we don't acquire more electric vehicles as well. So that's the goal.
And just one more thing, do you guys pay for like the lines in the roads for like when you have to park on the roads, like the white lines going along it? Do you guys maintain those lines or no? Is that the traffic commission?
No, it's not. Engineering, when they pave the roads, when engineering has the roads paved, they'll put that as part of the specifications to have you talk about the individual space lines, to have those put in. Many years ago, we painted our lines ourselves, but they get rubbed out because we use regular paint. We don't have the ability to use that plastic, what do they call it? Thermoplastic paint, if you will, that lasts.
Okay.
So, we engineering department usually puts that into their specs for the road being paved.
Okay.
Put those, and that's usually just at meters.
Okay.
They'll put those spaces on.
Thank you.
Okay. If there's no other public comment, any other board discussion before we get to resolutions? If not, you've seen the payment resolution. Can I get a motion to accept October's payment resolution?
Make a motion.
Second.
So,
All in favor?
Aye.
Mitch, again, the resolution to adopt 2018 parking rate, the change from this current year is that
Yeah, it's basically the monthly rates, going to $5 for each facility.
$5 per month.
Per month, comes out to, what do we say, 25 cents a day,
Okay,
a week.
but that's the only change, just wanted
That's
to
it.
make sure that's, to be clear on that.
That's it.
Okay, in that case, can I get a motion to adopt that resolution? In a second,
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mitch, number
Okay, this is budget to approve not adopt, but approve the budget for 2018. This budget reflects total revenues of $32,420,896. Total appropriations, including any accumulated deficit of $32,205,618. And total unrestricted net position utilized of $0. And the capital budget, as introduced, reflects total capital appropriations of $800,000 and total unrestricted net position planned to be utilized as funding thereof of $150,000. And this will be sent to DCA, in which turn they approve it, send it back to us,
Right.
we adopt it,
Three-step.
they go back, they adopt it, and then we publish it.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions about the budget?
I could just offer, we did meet, Kevin and I met with Mitch and with Bright, and we went through the budget. I think Bright did a good job in assessing where we were, compared and updated the budget to reflect next year's projections. And so I think it's fair, it's a fair and good budget, given our financial circumstances. So I recommend, I will offer a motion to accept.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have a motion to accept the resolution. Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, Mitch, pedestrian bridge.
We got comments back from Amtrak. So they came back with comments on the 30% design plans, and basically, just a couple items that they need us to address. They're looking for us to sign a real estate agreement, and basically this is for the property that they own in which the pier of the bridge would sit on. And also the part of the plan is to light the existing train overpass or abutment, if you will, with LED lighting to make it brighter on Albany Street,
Okay.
you know.
Underneath the...
Under the bridge?
Yeah, what's currently there now, so that would add to it also, so we would have to, since they own that also, that would be also part of the real estate agreement. So that's all. we have
Is
to
any
do.
of that pre-bridge, or is it all, it's all part of the bridge project?
Yeah.
The lighting?
Yeah,
Okay.
right, that's all part of the project, same
Okay.
project, so we have to address that.
Okay, so do they send us
I have a
a
contact,
deal?
we have a contact that we have to speak to at Amtrak to work on this
So
agreement.
Mr. Bureau work with their council to
Yes.
come up with the right contract? Okay.
And then, and they also want to know how the LED light fixtures will be attached to the existing bridge abutment. All right, and finally, just reminding everyone that they need to follow Amtrak safety rules when working near the tracks.
Okay. All right.
They want the entire
Certainly
the entire
makes sense.
pedestrian bridge underlighting, or just at the sidewalks?
Sidewalks.
Just sidewalks, okay.
Okay.
Not, they don't want it, it's part of the
So,
New Jersey Transit project for the pedestrian
No,
bridge.
no, I understand, but I'm just saying that they specifically referenced the LED lighting, so...
Yeah, because that was in the plans.
Okay,
So
got it.
it's-
Oh,
yeah.
okay, so it wasn't something they imposed, it was because
Right.
it's in our plan?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So, hey, step in the right direction.
great.
So what's the next step? So we're back now to continuing the design to
Yes.
80%?
Now we're
Whatever the
continuing
next
the
milestone.
design. Obviously, we're working on the engineering firm is hiring a company to do the borings, because we still have to do the borings now on the
Okay,
land.
geotechnical.
The geotechs, on just that one side, because the pier is already set up over at the wellness side. Those were put in, I guess the base of the piers were put in when we built the wellness center, so one step ahead. So it's just doing geotechnical, basically it's just underneath where that billboard is.
Right in that
Right in
dirt
that area
between
there.
the sidewalk and the...
Yeah, it's a very small area, so that's the next step.
Got it.
Good, thank you. Do you have any new business?
No, I have no closed session.
In no closed session? Okay, if there's no other business, then I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.